Patrick McNeil joined on the pregame show by Cape Breton Eagles head coach Jon Goyens. Jon, your first game is under your belt now, a 5-4 OT loss in Halifax. Thought it was a pretty entertaining game. What did you think?
I thought we played fast, we played hard, we competed. I'm sure there's some areas where details were lacking, but that's what coaching's for. That's where growth comes in. And for all the circumstances of having plenty of excuses, if you will, to lay an egg, so to speak, we didn't. Again, I've said this a few times, whether it be with you or other media outlets, is I'm learning from these guys right now in a big way because they've shown a ton of resiliency. They've shown how well they can make sure that circumstances that they've gone through, whether it be a hurricane, whether it be lack of being in their home rink and all those types of things, and not allow it to define their efforts and their attitude and their compete and their details or their determination, if you will, has been phenomenal. What's great about that is that it forces us to be better coaches as well.
Well, I think fans will enjoy hearing that. One thing I think people enjoyed watching was the counterattack. You had shorthanded chances. How much is that important to your team to be a strong counterattacking club?
Well, I think counterattacking club, or in a day and age when a lot of teams are, not just teams, but even some pontificators, if that's even a word, scream possession, possession, possession. The reality is possession is important until puck placement is more important. And then it becomes all about loose puck recoveries and what you do on those loose puck recoveries and how well you support or how well you counter to try to get it back. And so what's nice to see is that it be implemented by them so early and executed so early, because a lot of times, whether it be the fact that we have 18 new players just here in Cape Breton, whether we have players coming from 13 different teams last season, a lot of times players kind of want to show off their individual skills and they want to overhandle the puck and they want to overdo things. And when you do that, you tend to do less. You could be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And I'd rather someone be in the wrong spot, but try to do more by sharing the puck and moving the puck and understanding area passes and understanding that it's the old adage of puck moves faster than anything else on the ice. So why not move it ahead or move it east-west? And I thought that the give and go approach was really embraced by the guys.
Your team's named its leadership group. We don't always see that now. Sometimes people will wait. Jeremy Langlois, your captain, Ivan and Gravel, the assistants. What was it about those three that stood out?
The reality is with Langer is when I got hired, I had a few chats with him and try to get a feel for a guy that's been in the league and been with the same team and been through ups and downs and was on a really good team his first year and played a quote unquote lesser role. And then the next 2 years were real tough. And now he's a drafted player. So there's a certain amount of experience and qualities that he has garnered, that he's earned, that he has grown to connect with the type of player that he wants to be. Ivan is just rave reviews from everybody in terms of the obvious talent is there, but rave reviews on the person and the determination. And you got a 20-year-old offensive guy who's also probably one of our better defensive players. And that was kind of a no-brainer. And then I got to know Zach Gravel, had a few conversations. There were certain things that just tipped me in the way that as a staff, we kind of bounced some ideas. Who are the obvious guys in camp? And Zach stuck out, not just by anything he said, but a lot of by his actions. And every practice, he's trying to score 5 goals on 4 shots. You know, for every 5 chances against, he's trying to stop 6 goals. If it doesn't really make sense, it just shows how much more is added to every opportunity, whether it be in practice, whether it be in an exhibition game, whether it be playing with young guys or older guys. His willingness to take feedback, but want feedback, and to have that kind of example as a 20-year-old, I think is huge, because we came into the league later. However, he's on the rise, and we've seen players have a lot of success, whether it be the Yanni Gourds, the Marcia Sows, the Cedric Paquettes, guys like that who have come in at 18 and played at 20 or even left earlier and gone on to pro, versus sometimes young guys come in early and too early and ill-prepared and they're out early. And now they're playing junior A at 18, where had we as a league or certain teams or certain leaders taken more of a patient approach, now that player hits their wall too early, versus a Zach Gravel who kind of goes, hey, I'm ready now at 18, just like we're seeing with Hood. I'm ready now at 18 to be a proactive contributor versus just a bystander.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see a lot of 20-year-olds get contracts. It's great for the league and it's great for those players. I talked about Langlois and Ivan, both those guys, as well as FJ Buteau, get the chance to go to pro camps. Did you get an opportunity to talk to those guys about what that experience meant?
Yeah, asked all of them. Didn't get too much into detail with my questions. Did you enjoy it? What stuck out for you? Did you have fun? And at the end of the day, the higher and higher you go, sometimes people want to say enjoyment or fun is taken out of the equation. And I find that unfortunate, because if not, go do something else. And they really enjoyed their experiences. They were all in 3 very different organizations. Certain organizations have had more feedback with us. No, actually, they've all had quite a bit of feedback with us, because between Sly and I and our connections and our relationships, we've been able to get really good feedback, actually. Detailed feedback on all 3 young men and their experiences, and potentially any type of pointers in terms of what they see as something that they need to apply to their game, and so on and so forth. So it's just hugely beneficial for our team right now to have those guys have that taste for pro hockey and bring it back here, and not fall into this complacency like, oh, I was just borderline flying charter flights and now I'm back on the bus. Take that opportunity to say, now I've had a taste, and now I'm going to make sure to earn it.
Last, I wanted to ask about Bathurst, because first time seeing them, but I'm sure you've had the opportunity to break down the video and whatnot. What do you make of the T10?
I know Gordy Dwyer quite a bit, so there's always going to be a grit component for sure. They're going to be physical. He's going to demand that in all 3 zones, you're going to see Titan jerseys at all times. Early in the year, it's easy for teams to, I want to say, get undisciplined. Just, you get maybe some chintzy penalties sometimes. It's early, a tripping, a hooking. We faced it with a couple penalties where we chucked the puck in the stands, and it happens early in the year. But the reality is, I think you still have some top-end guys, obviously, there. You have some players that are trying to make their name for themselves. You have a hell of a goalie in their number 1 in Bednar. So it's a team that's different from last year, obviously. Maybe the expectations are different. However, at the end of the day, it's very cliche. It's 20 young men playing against 20 young men, and especially for us, trying to get a really good start to the season here. It's only our 2nd game, where it would have been our 7th or 8th at this point. I think we're going to see some physicality early on, probably. We're going to see a lot of quickness, not necessarily just in transition, but just quickness all over the ice. And then I think it's going to come down to discipline.
Look forward to seeing how it plays out. Good luck tonight, John. Thanks for this.
Thank you.